Guys, all right, so I am going live for the second time here on YouTube. I'm pretty excited, and I'm going to put the word out on Instagram. So let me let my people know really quick on Instagram that I'm going live. So bear with me 1 second if you guys have already tuned in. If you guys are watching, make sure you let me know your city and state so I can shout you out, and it lets me stall while I tell Instagram. All right, so here we go. 5 free date ideas. All right, here we go. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hey, Trinicia, thank you so much, love. All right, I don't even know if I was doing this thing correctly. You guys, I'm not the best with Facebook or Instagram. Facebook is my zhuzh. All right, let's try this again. It didn't show the little thing. 5 free date ideas. Okay. All right, let's try this again. Now it's giving me the notification. Hey guys, just wanted to let you know that I am over here on YouTube. We are live and ready to go. So just waiting for you to tune in. Check out my channel, which is Chasing Yonci at youtube.com, and you can join the discussion tonight. I'm going to be giving you guys 5 free or next to free date ideas so you can save some money and have a good time. So check it out. I'm live now. All right, guys. So now that we got that out of the way, let me know your city and state where you're tuning in. I gotta post this. Oh, it wasn't long enough. Goodness gracious. So let's see if I can stay on here a second. See y'all, I'm just not used to this. Okay, so saved. I feel like one of those old people that don't understand technology right now. The joys of live. Okay, so we gotta try this one more time. So it has to be at least 1 minute. Good Lord. All right, you know what? They're just gonna have to learn. They're just gonna have to figure it out. Okay, here we go. Live. Okay, so we'll just sit this here. Last time I kind of liked that. No warning, he said. Ohio. What do you mean by no warning? Let me know. All right, so let me see if I can put this here. All right, guys, so if you guys are watching here on Instagram, it's because I am going live with you on YouTube right now. We're on YouTube, see, right there. So I'm letting you guys know so you can jump in there. Right now, we have someone from Louisiana. We have somebody from Ohio. I want to know where you guys are watching from. It's always cool to see what city and state people are watching. So we have this question a lot. We talk about money a lot in my online group and how expensive it is to date. And especially right now during the quarantine, a lot of people are out of work and a lot of people don't have a lot of options. And so the creative people are winning. I did a post talking about free dates or next to free dates, and people were scoffing. A lot of people were scoffing. And so I thought, wow, a lot of you don't really know how to be creative and romantic at the same time. A free date doesn't have to mean a horrible date or a cheesy date. There are a lot of really cool things that you can do for no money or hardly any money at all. So if you guys are watching here on Instagram, jump on over to my YouTube channel, Chasing Yonci, because I'm going off in just a second here. I want to get you guys to tune in and check it out. Tonight is going to be a fun video. And we're also going to be talking about dating apps after that. So make sure you jump on over for those of you watching Instagram. Anyway, YouTube, so sorry. I feel like I'm cheating on you with my Instagram people here. But let's get right into it. Let's talk about some of the free date ideas. So I'm going to start with the first one that I did. Sometimes it's frustrating as a creative person and a romantic person because I wish that I could take the role of the guy sometimes in creating these dates because I know what women like, but I don't date women. So I have to wait for the guy to do the romantic things for me. But one of these times I told this guy I was talking, this was years ago. But I said, you know, he said, I didn't have a big budget. I said, you don't really need money to go on a date. I said, you know what? Let me show you how it's done. And I actually posted it in the group. I might post it elsewhere. I'll think about it. But I posted a video, and let me tell you, strangers were stopping by and coming to talk. They were like, oh my God. Here's the secret for romance. You need lights, you need lighting. So any kind of lighting. So if you have the sunset, you don't have to worry about the lighting. The lighting is already included. All right, guys, I think I've done enough for Instagram for it to click over. Join us over on YouTube. That's where it's at. All right, let's see here. Yes, I'm sure I want to end my live video. There we go. Perfect. And get my little thumbnail here. Y'all, this is hard doing live with multiple platforms. Okay. There we go. And next. Sorry, guys, hang on. I know this is the boring stuff. Okay, free date ideas. Okay, whew, now I can give you my full undivided attention. So sorry, guys. All right, so the date that I did, you want to include lighting. If you do like a sunrise or a sunset, obviously the lighting is included. But if you're somewhere where it's dark, lighting can be so magical with the easiest thing. Everybody, I'm sure, has Christmas lights. So you can either get Christmas lights or what's called the city lights, which are the bigger bulbs. They're round. But something about lights just makes it so romantic. Or you can do a bonfire. The light from the fire makes it romantic. You could do a fireplace if it's something that you can do inside of a house. Or you can go to the beach and have a bonfire. Candles, obviously. Lighting is huge. So chances are you probably already have these items laying around your house. The second thing that you need is sound. If you're out in nature, you know, there's the sound of the crashing waves, perhaps. But chances are you have a Bluetooth speaker, have that thing charged up, or if you're like me and your car powers up even while it's not turned on, you can have it plugged in there, but add music. So you've got lights and you've got music. The third thing that you want to consider when incorporating romance into your date is comfort. So just think about these simple things. What time of day is it? Is the person going to be hungry? Is it going to be cold? So bring a blanket or an extra jacket, especially if it's an impromptu thing where it's like a surprise for the other person. Bring an extra blanket, bring some cozy socks. If it's something that it's going to be hot and you guys might get wet, you might bring a towel. Just think through the things that will make the person comfortable. Pillows, blankets, lawn chairs, all these things you probably already have in your house. If it's going to be super hot, you could bring a canopy or a tent, anything to keep the person comfortable during that time. So as long as you have lighting, you've got the sound, the romantic sounds, and you have the comfort, you're Gucci. Now, like I said, you can spend money or not spend money, but these things are possible to do free. If you want to bring some food, you can control your budget a lot better than if you're ordering out. You can make sandwiches. If you're really good in the kitchen, you can make something even better. It's a lot cheaper if you cook yourself. What I did on my date was I actually made a pot roast. So I made the pot roast and I kept it in a crock pot. And in my car, I have a converter that allows me to put the power adapter into the little cigarette lighter. So I kept it on the warm cycle for the 40-minute drive to the beach, which is where I did my date. So I took my date, and I just texted him and I said, you know, meet me at the beach and wear something very comfortable and something very warm. So he wore like a little hoodie sweatsuit. So I got there and I set it up. I opened the trunk. I have an SUV. So I opened the trunk of my car and I put the string lights up and I hung some lanterns. I went to the Rite Aid, I think, near me. You can go to like the 99-cent store, but I went to Rite Aid. I'm getting all my brands mixed up. And it was super inexpensive. I hung these little lanterns. They have the little push over lights with the fake twinkling lights. I hung those up. I put pillows up. And I forgot this. Before I left my house, I downloaded a movie to my computer. And my computer has a 17-inch screen, so it's a pretty big screen. And then I had my Bluetooth speakers charged. So I had the music playing, and then I was able to use the speakers for after dinner to watch the movie and have really good sound. So it's a nice. Well, anyway, I had a little camping grill. It's the little small ones that are like maybe a little bit more than a foot across. Threw that in there, and I grilled some asparagus to go along with the meat. And what else did I bring? And of course, we had drinks. So once you count the amount that I spent on food, which I didn't have to do the food, it would have been free. This is all stuff I had pretty much lying around the house. Let's see, was it Just Thumbelina? I don't know, I see your name. Clark says, I enjoy cycling, a walk, hike, sitting around the fire pit at the crib. Yeah. R. Nixon says, okay, I'm here for it. So it was so romantic. Okay. And if you guys are in my private group, you guys can see the post. It's pinned to the top. So then I had my 2 little chairs. I had a little portable table that folds, and I had a lantern sitting on top. So it made it so romantic. So the lantern, the twinkling lights, the little lanterns, and then the music playing. Really pretty, like R&B type music. And then you have the waves crashing. I'm in Southern California, so drive to the beach is like 30, 40 minutes, depending on traffic. So the sun's going down. There's the beautiful beach setting. We're cozy in blankets. We're eating good food. Zoom and chill. That's cute. Yes. So then we cleaned up everything, and then it started to get cold. So I shut the tail of the truck, and then I put the middle seats down so we had plenty of room, propped us up with pillows. And the movie was actually a good movie. So we had the movie going, and we had the sound and the pillows, and it was just really, really cool. It was a perfect night. And he said it was the most dope date he's ever gone on. And I literally came up with that like an hour before we left. So it wasn't something difficult. So if you guys are just tuning in, I covered sound. You want to make sure you have a sound great, which could be a Bluetooth speaker, it could be the crashing waves. But if you really want to be dope, bring your speaker and the waves. I actually had somebody take me on a date. It was so freaking romantic. We went bike riding on the beach. And funny thing is he's a really well-known DJ. And so his playlist was fire. We actually held hands while riding bikes down the little, I don't know, it's not called a boardwalk, but in California, there's back to back beaches. So you can go all the way from one beach and ride for like an hour and just have peace, the Pacific Ocean. We rode down, listening to music, and then we went to this little spot on the rocks, listened to more music, and we're talking while watching the waves crash on the rocks. It was really, really pretty. But yeah, so you have to have your sound, your lighting is everything, and then just think of comforts. You don't want to be too cold, you don't want to be too hot. Make sure to bring water or something like that. And then, of course, if you're allowed to bring alcohol wherever you are, that never hurts. All right, so that's the first free date, which was the tailgating. Now, if you don't have a beach, you can go to a picnic. Anywhere where the scenery is beautiful. You can even find a place, if you can get permission, to go on a rooftop. Like, I think that would be so magical to go on a rooftop. I saw a picture one time on Instagram. Oh my God, it looks so amazing. It was this big projector screen and a projector. And I feel like there was a couch up there and a rug. So I don't know, how they were able to incorporate that. But this guy set up a dinner for a movie for two with him and his girl, and they were on a roof. So I don't know if you can do all that with the movie and all that, but if you have access to a rooftop, you could at least go up there, have some snacks, maybe a charcuterie platter and some wine, and just look at the beautiful view. I know in downtown LA, there are some breathtaking views in other cities as well. You just have to get creative and find a really tall building. And just make sure you're allowed to get there legally, because that is such a buzzkill if you get kicked out by security. If you guys are just tuning in and you haven't dropped your city and state, let me know where you're watching from so I can shout you out. Let me know if it's your first time watching on YouTube Live, and let me know if you are here from my private group. Our next sentence is taking out my notepad. Continue. I love it. I love it. All right. So the next one I kind of got into, which was a bike ride. A bike ride can be so much fun. And here's the thing. It's all about how Chicago, first time. Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming over. All right. So a bike ride can be so much fun. What you do is you can find out the person's favorite snacks, and you get your little backpack together and you put all your little fun snacks in there. So it could be like trail mix or granola bars, the person's favorite drink, something like that. But the thing is that you're showing that you've taken the time to think through what you might need down the road. And if you're really cool, you can do something that keeps it cool, put something small in there. They have those small little cooler bags that you can put, super easy. But throw them in your backpack, and again, use the music. So go somewhere fun. I know over here there's a, what is it like called, a ravine? And it's just this long area. It's all cement, and there are parks along one side, but a lot of people go biking. A lot of people go walking down there. But there are tons and tons and tons and tons of beautiful places to bike. If you don't want to bike, you can walk. Walking, here's the thing. If you're a good conversationalist, you can have some really fun dates where you're just walking. I have had that. I remember one time I went on a date and I told the guy, let's go walking in the park. And so he told me years later, he said, girl, I brought a shake. He said, I didn't know if you were trying to cut me. I don't know what kind of foolishness was about to go down. I've never had somebody try to invite me to a park before. And I died. He's like, no, I really brought a knife with me. So be careful where you take the person and be careful where you go, because if it's a first date, you just never know. You have to use caution and be careful. But you can do a lot of fun stuff. The reason I like free dates for the first date for sure is because as a woman, I don't like to feel guilty if you've just dropped a lot of coins and I didn't like you. Because I usually can tell within like the first 30 seconds if I just want to like turn and hightail it out of there. But obviously I'm not going to do that. I'm going to finish the date and then politely let you know you're not my cup of tea. Or I've got the plague and I can't come out in public ever again. I don't know. Just kidding. So yeah, so that's the deal. Hey, Andre. Trying to remember, are you the one from Australia? If you are, special shout out. Good day, mate. If you are, I know I could resist. Where was I? Yeah, going for a walk. Another place I can go, I'm going to jump over because I'm all little notes, which is why I keep looking down. But speaking of walking, another super romantic thing that you can do is go walking downtown. I love finding little old towns in your city. So, like we have Old Town Pasadena out here. He said, yes, I'm the kid from Australia. I loved having you on last time. I feel like Wendy Williams doing that. Sorry, I don't know. That's going from just Chandler a little bit. But we have downtown Pasadena where not too far from where I live. And it's so beautiful at night. It's beautiful during the day too. But there are tons and tons of little shops. And so sometimes it can be fun to go window shopping. If you go inside, you can have fun. I mean, you could pass a wig shop. That is hilarious to try on a wigs. You never know. There could be a pool hall there. You could pop into a pub and have a beer. Depending on, like I said, if you want to spend anything at all, or you could just walk around. You might find an old record store and you could reminisce looking at, the albums and things like that. Again, if you have great conversation, you would be surprised at how much fun you can have. The topic today is 5 free or next to free date ideas. Okay. Thank you so much for giving him that information. Free dates. You guys are awesome. Okay. So this is way less formal. So I'm going to get comfortable. All right. So where are we? So going for a walk. And then the thing is that let's just say you go for a walk. You could end it where you're at an ice cream shop or end it at a coffee shop or something like that. But if you work on your conversation skills and you're with somebody who's super dope, they're not going to care. Chances are you're going to get a feel for that person. If that person has a problem with that type of a date and it's your first date, it might be giving you a sign anyway. I talked to somebody and she was saying that she requires a date to be kind of expensive. She definitely would not go for a coffee date, she said, because she wants to be impressed. However, and I said this before, so I apologize if I'm repeating myself for some of you, I did the math and I figured out how much it would be for a guy if he went on a date once every weekend. So there's 4 weekends in a month. Let's just say he spends $250, which is super easy to do before you gasp and clutch your pearls and think that's way too high. Super easy to do. But let's say he spends $250 one weekend, $250 the next, and then the third and the fourth. That's $1,000 he's spending. That's $1,000. And for a year, that's $12,000 if he goes out one time on the weekend. So if it's a first date, I really don't want a guy investing in me. I want to be conscientious of how much he is spending, especially if I, don't know that I like him yet. So I think it's really cool to do that. And like I said, you can do super, super fun things. Let's see, go make food and go for a picnic under the stars. Yes. And that's along the lines of what I was saying with the tailgating that we had at the beach. A picnic is a lot of fun. And if you just make a little bit of effort, it can be super sexy. So you could do it maybe when the sun is going down and you have your little candles. Mind you, you want to be careful with bringing real candles. You can get little, what's called tea lights at your local Target or your local craft store. But there are tea lights that have electric powered flames and they look real. You cannot tell unless you reach in and see that it's plastic. But for the effect of it, they literally flicker. It looks the same. You don't have to worry about something getting knocked over and starting a forest fire. It's easier. Nixon says, the more you talk on the date, the better. Yes, it's so true. Okay, so those of you who are just tuning in, we talked about tailgating, we talked about bike riding, we talked about hiking. There's a beautiful place over here that has a waterfall at the end. And I remember doing a hike before a date and ended in a waterfall. And it was super, super pretty. Andre says, I have no lover to do that, so I just play games all day or just worry about school. Oh, but this is good for you to keep notes so that when you do, you can blow her away and impress her. But you're only 16, so you've got time. All right, so then I also covered walking downtown or going sightseeing. Here's the other thing. So let's say you guys both live in whatever town. There are a lot of things in your town that you don't know about, and there are neighboring towns where you've probably never been. So for me, she said for some people talk too much. So for me, I was born in California. Okay, I was raised here. I was gone for a few years in the middle when my dad got transferred for a job, but like for the most part, I've lived here. And do you know I didn't go to see the Hollywood side until I think like last year. I had been to Hollywood Boulevard, but like it's because I was going somewhere. Like there was a nightclub or there was something I had to go. I didn't like get out and walk. I never even went to Melrose or Rodeo Drive. So there are a lot of like cool touristy type things, but if you live in an area, you probably just don't think to go. So you could do that. You could also go roller skating. Roller skating is not that much money, and if you're a big skater like me, they already have their own skates, and so the cost again is super low when you don't have to get your skates. I will judge you if you wear brown skates, the orange wheels. But yeah, so that's super inexpensive. A workout can actually be fun too. If both of you are into working out, that could be a lot of fun, and it's totally free. And you're getting your fitness in for the day with someone that you think is super sexy. So win, win, win. Okay, so the last thing that I want to give you is I've been jumping all around on my list, but this is number 5. Another thing that you can do, which can also be tied into sightseeing, is you can find cool places to take photos. Now, if you're a guy, you're going to score extra points because chances are 9 times out of 10, the woman likes to take pictures. Chances are she has social media. Chances are she needs photos for her social media. So you could scout the city and find like 3 or 4 different really cool places that have like murals or super dope backdrops, or even more, go to one of those museums that have like the social media backdrops, but a lot of that stuff is probably closed right now. But scout the city. Like out here, there's a really famous spot that has the wings painted on the background. That can make for really fun memories. And every time you guys look at those pictures, you're going to remember each other. And if it's too soon to take photos together, just take turns doing individual ones of each other. Be silly, have fun. And again, you could be really smart by packing some little snacks or packing some wine or ending somewhere where you can get something as kind of a cap to the end of the day. But it could be fun going from place to place to place and the fact out. With women, a lot of times what we're impressed by is the fact that you gave it some thought, the fact that you thought it through, and the fact that you took our comfort into consideration. So it's not the price tag at the end of the day, it's the fact that you were thoughtful and put it together. Um, I think if you guys are interested, I will give you some more elaborate date ideas. There's a girlfriend of mine, and we talked about doing a business a while back where we date settings, and we would put things together so that the guy could just look like the hero. He could just show up and all the stuff is set out for his date. But it's a lot trying to promote, and there's a lot of things you have to think about logistics wise. So yeah, we did not follow through with that. But I have all these date ideas inside, and I've thought about doing setting the stuff up and just taking photos of them to give you guys ideas, because it blows my mind how shocked a lot of guys are when they hear these super simple ideas that women, think of quite easily. But your lady would be super blown away. Also, you might have. She said, "Oh, I bust out my crazy leg skating." The drive-through movies is cheap, so I could do that here. Oh yes, the drive-through. I'm glad you said that. The drive-through movie. I actually did that not that long ago, and it was super, super, super romantic. We actually grabbed food beforehand and then took in the car. So we had like a really nice meal and then watched the movies. And then I surprised my date with snacks. So I snuck into the conversation, like, what are your favorite snacks? Or, what do you like to drink? And so that really gave me brownie points with him because, I think a lot of times women just come with their hands out, so to speak, at least in a guy's mind. And so he thought that was really cool that I brought the snacks. I mean, although I am the snack. Just kidding, just serious. Andre says I'm going to share with my single friends. Nice. And your friends who are in relationships, they probably would want to know this too. So yeah, those are my ideas. I have a lot more where those came from. If you're creative, if you let the woman know, like you could do the scavenger hunt thing, and you don't even have to have anything expensive. It could just be she goes from point to point to point. That's fun. It's kind of like a game. And also the thing is that the excitement is when you commit to a date and time. I did, what was it? I don't even remember which platform I was on, at some point I was doing tips about what women love, and a woman wants to be thought of. And so I was giving advice to guys saying that if you want to make her feel special, ask her out on a weekend date, not a cheapo weekday date, no actual raggedy Thursday night date, but before Wednesday passes by, ask her out on a Friday night or a Saturday night and commit ahead of time. So if you tell her, hey, I'm taking you out this weekend, you know, if you're free, and it's going to be casual, like let her know what to wear, because the first thing the woman wants to know is what you're going to wear. Or it's going to be outdoors, so make sure you wear flat shoes, or, you know, it's going to be hot, so dress comfortably. But that's what's exciting for the woman. The woman likes to look forward to the date the whole week. She wants to be going through work each day like, oh my God, 3 more days, 2 more days, 1 more day. She wants to get her hair done. She wants a reason to get her nails done. She wants a reason to manicure herself. You know what I mean? Landscape herself, whatever that's called. I was thinking manscape, but you know, women like to get into all that. So the whole like, hey, you want to hang out? That's not cute. She wants to be formally asked out. She wants to be given a date and a time. And if you know her, pick her up. That's really, really sexy. Or you could send a car for her. And here's the thing. You don't have to know her location. I had somebody want to send me a car, and I just thought that was the cutest thing, but I wasn't ready to give my address. So what I did was I just picked like a public place not too far from my house, and I drove to that place and had the Uber come pick me up from there. So you can send a car. That is so classy. He said, just humble, no chuckle cheese. Let's see. A woman told me she wouldn't go to a date to a restaurant she would take her kids to. The nerve. Imagine going to a sports game with your crush and you guys popped up on a kiss cam. Oh, that would be so cute. I like going to sporting events, even though I'm not even into sports. I like the ambiance. I couldn't even tell you who won, but I'm like, let's get popcorn and cotton candy. I just like the buzz of the crowd. She said no Applebee's or TGIF. Oh, Lord. Wow. I can't imagine saying that to somebody. I'm telling you guys, I have a lot of guy friends, and I have, you know, a lot of guys in the group that I talk to. And I'll tell you this. I wish that the tables could be turned for like a month. I swear, between having to ask the woman out, having to make the first move, having to pay for the bill, having to feel like you have to impress the woman, like a lot of women would be so different with how they treat men if they had to be men for a little bit. You guys have a lot of things we need to work on, but we women have. She said it had to be somewhere she needed to dress up to go to. Oh Lord. I mean, I get wanting that, but like to demand that, it's not cute. It's like being at a restaurant and the waitress demanding you to tip. Okay, you want that's not cute. Um, but where was I? Where was I? Ask her out, let her the excitement build up, pick an actual date, pick an actual time so that you could take her. Oh, I was saying you could send a car for her. So I had one guy tell me, he said, oh, you know, would you want to go to a concert? And I was exhausted. I had either just come in from work or I was still making my drive home in traffic, work traffic. And I was exhausted. And he said, you know, do you like Bruno Mars? I was like, yeah. He said, would you want to go to a concert? I'm like, yeah, that sounds like fun. You know, when? And he said, tonight. And I was like, the thought of getting back into LA traffic was just horrible. And he said, well, what if I send a car? And I was like, So it was actually very lovely, very lovely. We had really good seats. We got to do the backstage, not backstage access, but like there was this VIP area where you can kind of be in a lounge and chill out and have drinks and hors d'oeuvres and things like that. It was really nice. So it made it enjoyable, and then knowing I didn't have to drive home was really nice too. So that was super fun. Andre says, remember guys, I sub and turn on notifications to get the latest news. Oh, that is so sweet. Latest news on relationships because I love this channel already. Thank you. That is so nice. So tomorrow, what I'm dropping, I've been fighting with this app, my computer. I've been trying to use a new editing software. But the video that I am dropping, Lord willing, tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Pacific time is 3 things that all guys need to know before creating a dating app profile. Or if God forbid you've already created one, you can go back and edit it. You need to know this, and this is based on information that the women have given me over the years, so you don't want to miss that. Just Stumble Me says, don't sleep on Chuck E. Cheese pizza, and the salad bar was fire pre-COVID. Oh my God. And I'm like a big kid, so I would love to go to like a Dave and Buster's and play games and things like that. I used to always want to get so dressy for dates, and there's a time and a place for it. But because of COVID, I have fallen in love with sneakers. And being a Cali girl, I'm all about flip flops now. And I used to be such a diva. Once I started to realize how comfortable sneakers were and how the night could just keep going because I didn't have to keep trying to sit down. You know, my feet weren't hurting. Y'all ladies know you go clubbing or you do whatever. And after a while, your little 10-minute shoes, the little bell goes up. It's been 10 minutes, ma'am, sit down. It's not fun. So when you could just be casual and still feel cute and have fun, it's a really good time. So being able to do like a David Buster's, throw on some Chucks, throw on some flip flops, that's a good time. Anthony says, how isolated should I make this type of date? I normally pick low-key public places. The best place to enjoy a person are the most isolated. He said, Old Sac versus Glass Beach. Depending on which date it is, I would say keep it as public as possible. If it's a first date, if you know the person, then you can afford to make it more intimate. If you really know the person, you can have it at your house. But I would go somewhere. Take her to an arcade and making her laugh is the best thing. That sounds like fun. So many date ideas, but it includes a little bit of money. Yeah. So where was I at? So I did another date. I just was thinking about it right now when you guys said that. Arcade, drive-in. There was something I was just thinking. This one's totally free. Okay, and it was because of COVID. So a lot of places have been creative and doing things outdoors that they normally would have indoors. And so there was, I got invited to go to a music event, and the performers were outside, their little makeshift stages, and everybody was just standing around listening. And there was a food truck there in case you wanted to eat. But it was a first date, and it was so romantic. It was nighttime. You had the music, you had the lights, and you had the comfort because I was all cozy in my little hoodie. But I was so casual. I had on flip flops and a little like tank top dress with a hoodie over it. And he had on sweats and a hoodie. And it was so relaxed and such a chill environment. It wasn't uptight. It wasn't stuffy. We weren't asking all the first date questions. We did all that over the phone. I just think sometimes people make dating way too complicated. As long as the chemistry is there and you guys have compatibility, it will go smoothly. And then the good thing is if you're doing activity, if you don't have that chemistry, you can at least have fun in the activity. And it takes the pressure off of the. Okay, so bonus topic before I go is dating apps. So I went on a live today with somebody earlier, and I was talking about the video I was going to be posting tomorrow, the 3 things that men need to know before making a dating app profile, which, by the way, there's one coming for women. That's going to be on Thursday, Lord willing, if I can get through this technology. And so he was saying, oh my God, who uses dating apps? And he was saying that dating apps are like pretty much for losers. I was like, that's a really strong opinion. And I thought about somebody like myself. I live in an area where the type of man I am attracted to doesn't live in my area. There's not a lot of diversity, and there's a very particular type of guy that I'm attracted to. So a dating app lets me choose that. The other thing I told him, which I'm an advocate for a dating app, is because you know what's up. Now, if you're out in public, you could go up to somebody who's attractive and strike up a conversation, and after 5 minutes, you discover that person's married or full on in a relationship. Because it's not like you walk up to the person and start making small talk and they blurt out, I have a wife, or I have a husband. Unless they have a ring on or something like that, they're not going to blurt out the fact they're in a relationship. So what I like about dating apps is that you can easily see who is out there. Now, there are plenty of married people on dating apps and plenty of people in relationship on dating apps, but that you can't avoid that. There's going to be weirdos anywhere. But I think that is, a great reason to use it. Also, proximity. You can easily check to see the proximity. So for me, I don't like dating outside of 40 miles from my house. Like if you live an hour away, I consider you long distance. Ain't nobody got time for that. I want to be able to have a pop-up type of relationship, something cute, something close. And so I like to be able to control the distance. If I meet you somewhere, let's just say I go to Hollywood. I just drove 40 minutes to Hollywood. That person could live 40 minutes north of Hollywood, which means that we're like almost 2 hours apart. Ain't nobody got time for that. So there's a lot of reasons why. And the other thing that I have to say, I have a lot I have to say on that, but I'm going to leave you with one more on dating apps. When people talk about, weirdos are at ... whatever it is, they're on social media or they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. People are people and people are everywhere. Okay. Barack Obama is on social media. Michelle Obama is on social media. Like everybody is on social media, all types of people. So can you find weirdos who live in their mom's basement who might be a serial killer? Sure. But I felt like that stigma went away in like 1998 that, only weirdos were on dating apps. There are a lot of people who don't commute to work. They work from home. They don't move in different circles. So where in the heck are they going to encounter new people? I say don't knock it until you try it. And if you don't like it, that's fine, but don't judge other people who do, because I think it's a beautiful, wonderful invention. And I know plenty of people who have met the love of their life and are married to and now have children with somebody they met because of technology. Shout out to the creators of technology. Going back to the other comment, Just Stumble Me said a movie is the worst first date in my opinion. I would agree, because you're meant to just sit there silently. It doesn't make for good conversation. Let's see what else. One con about the dating app is catfishing. Yes, however, there are a lot of different apps. Like right now, Hinge has a video built right into it. So you can exchange information, and the rule of thumb is always FaceTime. And if anybody is wary about FaceTiming, that should be a red flag. Some people really are just camera shy, but FaceTime. I refuse to go on a date with anybody before I FaceTime. The reason for that is twofold. One, I want to see that they really look like what they say they do, because some people put super old pictures. That has happened to me. And the other thing is sometimes people are just awkward. Like you can figure out if they're super awkward and you don't have any chemistry over the video. And so why waste time spending your money, spending your time going out on a physical date if you can already see that it's awkward and they can't hold a conversation? Because anybody could sit here and think of cool things to say via text. But when you're live and in person and looking into each other's eyes, you'll see the weirdness come out. Anthony says true again, distance is hard to overcome. Yeah, it's not cute. Just Thumble Clark says, I don't have any social media except LinkedIn. Interesting. Well, I'm glad that I'm on YouTube so that you can interact with me. It's scary knowing that. Yeah, there are a lot of people who just lie. I could tell you stories that you guys would be like, shut up, Yonci, you are lying. No, for real, you're lying. That kind of crazy stories. Prisoners, drug dealers, people who didn't look anything like their pictures, married people. I've seen it all, heard it all, but that's not going to stop me because those people are not the majority. All right, so that's what I have to say about dating apps. Clearly, I am a fan, and I think that it's convenient, it's quick, and you got to vet them just like in real life. You got to vet people. So that's what I have to say about that. Thank you so much for watching. What did we do? Like 40 minutes today? That was pretty long. I didn't think it was going to go that long. Super excited. If you guys haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the bell notifications, because then you will be notified when a new video comes out. I have two things that I talk about. I talk about dating and relationships, love, sex, dating, and relationships, which is like what I did tonight. And the other thing that I talk about is mental health. And so as somebody who has overcome clinical depression without the use of medication and overcome debilitating anxiety, I have shared the truths that I have learned, and I also package them in with just tips on living the abundant life. I feel like a lot of people just kind of get through life day at a time. They're surviving each day. And I want to give information to people to help them feel like every single day they want to jump out of bed and just seize the day and grab all that life has to offer. So that's what I offer. Those are the two different lanes that I'm in. And I also think that if you get yourself together, you have a better chance of relationship, not just getting one, but thriving in one. A lot of people mess up their relationships because they're not whole within, or they're looking for a relationship to fill a void that is missing inside of them that only they can fill. So check out the information that I have in my videos. And if you like it, subscribe. I am new to YouTube, so I'm still figuring this out. So I'm super grateful to everybody who has given me support. Oh, Nixon, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And just, this is a generic piece of information, not just for my channel, but for everybody. If you guys notice, people always say, please like, comment, share, subscribe. When I used to watch videos, I'm like, okay, thirsty much? Why do you keep wanting to like the picture, like the videos? There's actually a reason for it. It's different from like Instagram or Facebook and things like that. To me, that is just kind of like, cool, you liked it, whatever. But with YouTube, these people, myself now included, we are spending hours and hours and hours of content. There's so much that goes into filming, editing, posting, doing all the algorithms, things like that. And so when you do it, if you're doing it like me, where you really want to help somebody out, it sucks knowing that you could have really given information that somebody enjoyed, but you'll never know, because that's what makes us keep going. So let's say, for example, I do a video and a ton of people give me feedback on it. Well, then I know, you know what, this is a lane that's hitting the mark. Let me stay in this lane and give more. If I do another video and it's kind of crickets, then I'm going to take that as a cue, like, okay, this isn't really hitting. But if people just aren't giving feedback, it gives me false information. So likes are really helpful because I know it's resonating with people, but comments mean everything because then we really get it. So whether you're on my channel watching my videos or somebody else's, do that. And it's funny, I forget to like too, even though I know this now. And so when YouTubers will say, all right, if you like this video, please hit like, I will stop and do it at that moment because I'm like, oh, that's right, I want to do that. Because a lot of times there's something that's really, really good, and I'll just hit that share button or talk about it somewhere, and I forget to let the creator know. It's a really, really, really good tip. Oh my God, Adonis, thank you. That's so sweet. Let's see. Okay, Andre says, does first impression matter? One more question. Now, tell me what you mean by that, Andre, because that could be a very not loaded question, but it could mean a lot of different things. First impressions definitely do count. You only have a little bit of time before you either lose the person or convince them to go out again. But there are multiple levels to it. Conversation, looks, the whole nine. There are a lot of different things that you want to do. Now, first impression, speaking of that, you do want to watch the video tomorrow because I will give you, from the woman's perspective to all the guys out there, what we talk about privately when it comes to dating apps. Somebody might be attractive, but if they do one of these things that I'm talking about tomorrow, we will swipe left in a heartbeat. So just make sure that you don't fall into any of these traps. Like if the content helped you, and dislike if it didn't help you, so she can work on the content. Ah, you're so sweet. Andre is going to be one of my favorites very quickly here. I liked it when I came into the live. So sweet. What about in person? What do you mean in person, Immortal Adonis? Talking about first dates, what to do in person? Because I can do a video on that too. Just clarify and let me know exactly what it is. Okay, guys, if you have any other questions for me, you can ask me now. Like the first impression. I would just say, let's see, what I meant by no warning is that if you posted earlier, you're going on live. Oh, I could have. Got you. And which platform were you talking about? Because I actually meant to do that and then I forgot. I got caught up doing some other things. So let me know which platform you wanted me to do the warning. And I'm trying to figure out the time of day to do it. So I've committed to doing Sundays if that ends up working for people. But the time is something I'm still trying to figure out because we've got the playoffs going right now. Is it called playoffs? I'm not a basketball person. The finals, sorry. The finals are happening right now. And so, so I had to see what time the game was going to end before I went on. So let me know on YouTube. Okay, so what I'm planning on doing is adjusting my about section to say that I'm going to be going live every Sunday at this time. But like I said, I'm trying to figure out the time. I've got to go because I have school. I was on break. Oh, you're so sweet. So I had to come watch. So have a nice day and see you next live. So sweet, Andre. Thank you. I keep forgetting you're like in a totally different time zone on your side of the world. Okay, guys, I feel like there was one other thing I was going to say. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, guys, so give me your feedback. I would let you know how you met. Oh, okay, so I will answer that. I'd like to know how you met Doughboy and Triune. So one of the things that I talk about all the time on my posts on Instagram, especially, is in order for your life to change, you have to make changes. And so about 6 years ago, I was coming out of a divorce and I just felt like my circle was it was too much of a reminder of the life that I was leaving behind. And so on a whim, I decided to create an Instagram account. I didn't have Instagram before that. I didn't get it. I didn't understand Instagram. Why do people like Instagram? I just didn't get it. So I forced myself to figure it out. And a friend encouraged me to start a Facebook page as well. I had Facebook, but it was everybody I knew in my real life. So I was like, who's going to be friends with me on Facebook? I don't know them. And I honestly did not know that people friended people who they didn't know because I knew in real life, friends, family, old classmates, whatever. So I took his advice and I started Facebook, and that just blew the door open. And so I started bonding with my little community and didn't have any intention of being a content creator whatsoever. I was actually just asking questions about dating because I got married when I was 23, fresh out of college. It was like my first real relationship. Married him, was married for 12 years. So I was basically joining the dating scene for the first time in my 30s, my mid 30s. So I would just ask questions on my Facebook page. And so through that, I started getting an actual community of people where we really were bonded. One of the guys who was in that group is a dear, dear, dear friend of Triune. And so we were talking about, I think I was asking questions about like algorithms and marketing and stuff like that. And that's what Try does for a living. He is in the marketing space, on online marketing space. So that guy connected me to Try, and we just hit it off right away. We were talking about marketing stuff, but we just ended up like clicking personality wise. And I let him know that I was having a live video. It was like kind of podcast style, but I was doing a live video coming up, and I would love for him to be on the panel. So he said, "Hey, I have a studio if you want to come and record there, and I'll be part of your panel." I was like, "Awesome." So we end up going there, and after we shot that episode for my YouTube group, he and I were like, "We got to do a podcast." I was like, so we were super, super on the same page. And so after that, we started planning it. It was called Ear Candy the Show, and we've been doing that for a year and a half. We took a bit of a hiatus to do our new show. But that's the long story of how I met Triune. And then Triune introduced me to Doughboy. So we were actually about to tape an episode of Ear Candy. And it was so funny because I was like, I have to leave my job. I hate my job right now. And he said, there's somebody I want you to meet when you come over. So I came in fired up, and I'm like, I'm leaving. I can't take it anymore. And I come busting in the garage because that's where we shoot. And came busting in, and Doughboy was there. And so I actually didn't know who he was. I don't watch TV. And so he said, "This is, Doughboy. I want to introduce you, yada, yada, yada." And when I went home that night, of course, I Googled him, figured out who he was. I'm like, "Oh, okay, this guy's like been doing his little thing for a while." And black people, we always say little thing, little car, little boyfriend. Like he's doing his thing. So I took Triune's, word for it that he was a cool guy. And then I guess he really liked my energy, which I don't know why, because I was such a hot mess because I was so freaking worked up about my job, which was right around the corner. So I was fired up and venting to Try. But we said we wanted to do a show, and boom, we are now like I think 7 episodes in. We go film tomorrow morning, and it's just been awesome. Doe is a really, really good guy, like super, super good guy. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's very, very sweet, very generous, and really, really nice guy. I feel like we have very kindred spirits. And so I've gotten to know the Doe outside of social media, and he's a really, really sweet soul. Just Stumble Me. Am I saying it right? Just Stumble Me. It will blow up. Thank you so much. He said the podcast is lit. I appreciate that. Y'all don't even know. There are so many things we want to do. But for me, I'm on a tight budget. Like I freaking quit my job. So I'm living on savings. I have invested so much money in this. The microphones are expensive. We, dropped money on that custom table and a bunch of other things that we had to come out of pocket for. So little by little, like as we can invest, and when I say we, I mean me, because they're good. That we can do more and more things, but we want to take it to the next level. Like you've already seen, we've tried to level it up from each episode to the next. But there's so much stuff that we want to do. And then we have the Patreon, which are our subscribers, which thank God for them. But people pledge $5 a month to support us. And then in return, we give them behind the scenes stuff. So we give them like behind the scenes video. We drop in, we're going to start doing live videos with them. We've given them episodes early. We're giving away $500 to one lucky person. So the first 100 people who subscribe are automatically entered to win $500. So we do a lot of stuff to try to give back to them. But yeah, thank you for that question. Just Bumblebee says, got married at 19 and divorced at 37. I am 38, still no social media. And it's not for everybody. The social media is not for everybody. Immortal says, is it weird? I've been with the same girl since 18 and we're 10 years deep in a relationship with a kid, but I haven't asked her to marry me. I don't think it's weird. I think that's your choice. I don't know if you even want to get married. So you'd have to decide if it's that you don't want to marry her, or you don't want to get married at all, or maybe you're just not ready to get married. I think that marriage is a really, really, really big step. And I think that a lot of guys should probably wait until they're in their 30s to get married. Honestly, that's how I feel. Let's see. I know y'all will be at the top. Oh, hey, Walter. That's one of our Garage Gang members. I know y'all will be at the top soon. I love what you guys are doing. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and join the Patreon. Oh my God, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. You just click on the any of our YouTube videos and then click the Patreon link and it'll take you there. And also right now, Doughboy is letting us crash on his channel because obviously that's where he has a lot of eyeballs. But after our 10th episode, we're going to move over to our TNN page. We say TNN for the new normal. So we're going to move over to there. But all the links are there. You can click any of them. And also on my channel, I put it in a playlist that says the new normal. So you can easily click it from my channel as well. Immortal says, I feel like it's a life changer. It is. I mean, it's a life commitment. If you do it the way we swear before God we're doing, it's a life commitment to get married. So yes, Walter says, garage gang shouty. Yes. Immortal says, I'm definitely going to the Patreon. Thank you. I have a girlfriend, but her child. No, he didn't. He said, I have a girlfriend, but her child is bad AF. I can't do it. And we've talked about that in the group. We've talked about whether or not you could be with somebody if their child was acting up. I think it would be very difficult because unless that person just totally gave you the reins on how to discipline, it would always be a battle because they would be lenient and you would be like, let's get this child together. So yeah, that would be tough. I don't know. I can't even talk to people whose kids are out of control. Like I can't talk to people over the phone whose kids are out of control. You guys ever had that where you try to have a conversation every 5 seconds, like, no, put that down. What are you doing? No, I said I would get, not right now. And you're like, just calm down. Like it's cool. Anybody got time for that? But yeah, you guys, it's crazy. I am living this, it's weird. Sometimes it doesn't even feel real. I still have moments where it's like, it's the weekend. I think, oh my God, it's Monday. And then I remember, no, ma'am, you're an entrepreneur now. Like you're a content creator. You're not going to work. It still hasn't really sunk in because I quit my job at the end of July. And I just remember wanting to do it for a really long time, but I never felt ready. And everyone was like, you got to do it. I just wasn't ready. And this one day I was just sitting there in my training class and I was like, I'm ready. I almost jumped out of the seat and ran out of the room. I was like, I'm ready. I was giving my 2 weeks notice, but after talking to the lady, I just, we both agreed the time was now. So I stayed till 5 and I was done. Walter says I was supposed to be married at 25, but it fell through. I'm so glad it did because I know I was toxic. And I am now 40 and I know that I could be the best me because now. Yes, that it's so true though. You can't be a good partner until you are good inside. And for me, there was so much I had to learn. Oh my Lord. I am such a different person than the person I was when I was married. What did you do? So Walter, I was, when I quit, I was actually working for EDD. I lasted like a month. Yeah, I started like the second week of June and I left at the end of July. So I lasted like a month and a half. It was just super analytical and I'm a creative person. And so that was, yeah. But the technical reason why I left was because my daughter's school closed and I had no one to watch her. And so we weren't going to be able to work from home for like another 3 months, I think. So I don't have a support group where I could just drop my daughter off every single day. And so I ended up leaving and was the best decision ever because it was like, all right, let's do this. I had some savings and I said, let's do this full time. Before that, I worked for almost 3 years as a marketing director for a restaurant chain. And I loved that job. And I think it was a blessing that COVID happened because I had to leave that job that I loved to be with my daughter. Because during this, what was it? During the summer, she's with her dad. So I was able to start working back in the summer, but I had to quit when summer was ending. But I left the job that I loved and I would have stayed there, but I needed to go. And they're really nice. They still let me, come back from time to time because I was the face of the company. So I'll do things from time to time as like a brand ambassador for them. So luckily, the bridges weren't burned with either location. Let's see. What did you do? Okay, answer that. When should you stop your hoe phase and settle down? So here's the thing. My thought about the hoe phase, which typically guys more so go through, I think that it is an ego boost. I think that people run through sexual partners because they want to feel good about themselves. And truly, I feel like that's an indication of somebody not being whole inside. He said, what kind of stream is this? We ask questions. Yes, you can ask questions. I finished my topic that I was talking about, CT Rude Boy. So you can ask questions now. But yeah, I think guys tend to do that mostly because like I said, they want that validation. So if you can get a woman in bed with you, it's kind of a ego boost. Like, I'm the man, you know? And I think women tend to do it with relationships. They want to feel this need inside. So I think that when a person feels like they're whole on their own, that's when the hoe phase will end. I think it will naturally end because you don't need to have a plethora of people making you feel validated. You can just have that friendship with that one person. And also, I think it's the reason why people cheat. A lot of times people get into a relationship because they want the security of the relationship and the stability of the relationship, but they need their ego stroked. And so they might not even like the person who's flirting with them, but they can't pass up an opportunity to get their ego stroked. So I think that's something that everybody who has temptations with cheating has to think about. Is it that I really like this person and I have just really tempted? Or is it that it makes me feel so good in my pride to know that somebody wants me? A lot of people want to know I still got it, you know? So it's multifaceted. There's a lot of reasons why people cheat, but I think that's a big, big part of it. And he's saying facts. Sorry, I got allergies, you guys. When I laugh, it makes my nose run. Excuse me. Okay, the joys of being live. Let's see. So you guys are agreeing with me. All right, did you guys have any other questions? I know I was wrapping up, but I will definitely answer any questions that I can before I go. And if you guys are just joining in, so what we talked about at the beginning of this, if you want to go back and watch, was 5 free or next to free date ideas. And I broke down the psychology of what women want, what makes them razzle dazzle and feel romance. Do it very inexpensively, so you can go through and watch that. I say hoe phase because you don't settle down. Everyone considers it a hoe phase. I don't necessarily think so. If you're really working to get a business off the ground or you're going to school, a lot of people understand that you don't have the, the bandwidth to commit to somebody. We as women, we're very needy and we like a lot of time and a lot of attention. So if you have a lot going on in your personal life already, then that's a valid reason. But if you don't have anything going on, then yeah, probably people think that you just are going through that. Walter says, so I hate that I missed the beginning, but I always do creative yet cheap or free dates. Cheap, sir. Inexpensive, cost effective. I really like this channel and your hair. Oh, thank you. So I was thinking it's a little lifeless right now, but I'm thinking I'm going to tape this episode of The New Normal with curly hair this week. So I'm going to come with my big lion's mane tomorrow. So you guys will see that because I've been wearing it straight so much, but it's been a little humid lately. So my hair starts getting all poofy by the end of it's almost 2 hours when we finish taping. Let's see. You're literally talking about the situation I'm going through right now. Oh, said I'm not getting teary-eyed. Somebody's cutting onions. So Rude Boy, which situation? Because I'm all over the place. I've been answering different things. Are you talking about not being happy inside? I'm not sure. Walter says frugal, LOL. And side note, you guys, if you guys are watching, by the way, where is everyone watching from? Can you guys drop your city and state? Because I always do that in my Facebook group and it's really cool to kind of see where everybody is. But before I go, because I want to see what he was asking about. Oh, Memphis. Nice. Okay. I have family that moved to Memphis. Oh, New York. Very nice. Oh, it's late over there. One of the things that I'm super excited about with this channel is really giving practical information on how to live a life that is fulfilling. And I think that with social media, it's easy to kind of feel down and compare ourselves to other people because we see all the stuff that's being posted or we see, crazy attractive people online. And it's easy to feel like our life isn't special or, there's nothing really exciting to wake up, any exciting reason to wake up in the morning. And hey there, how you doing? I don't know what's your name, W Brizzle 81. And so that's my heart. I have a passion for love, dating, sex, and relationships. So that's why I do that content. But I really have a heart for people who are suffering from depression. I feel like it's still considered taboo, even though it really shouldn't be in this day and age. But I think a lot of people are depressed. It might not be to the point of like clinical depression where they need to get help, but it's definitely where they just don't feel good about themselves and they feel sad. And I really hope that with my videos, I'm able to share things that will turn things around because there is nothing like waking up in the morning and being like, yes, like you cannot wait. And you're always having things to look forward to and be excited about. So that's my joy, or my wish. So CT Rude Boy says my ex cheated, and you explained it could be an ego thing. I think she's going through her whole phase. Oh snap! Yeah, I always think cheating is just such a selfish thing to do because that person is saying, I want to be with you and I selfishly don't want to let you go, but I also want to do this too. And so I think that it's a really tough thing for people to just own up and say, hey, I'm not happy, or I'm not ready to be in an exclusive relationship. And although it would hurt to be broken up with, it doesn't sting as much as somebody stepping out. Oh, DFW, nice. I hope I get to meet you next time you come down. Nice. Did you know I recently came to Dallas? This was my third time. I love Dallas. Walter says yes, cheating is so selfish. Yeah. Anyway, all right, guys. So if you don't have any of your questions, I know with Facebook's there's like a 7-minute delay. So I don't know with YouTube how much of a delay there is, but I try not to log off if I see other questions coming in. But if you guys want to ask any other questions about me, you can do that. IG. Oh, IG. He said, yo. Wait. Plus a minute. Oh, wait. What's your name? Because I just see W Brizzle. You guys, I have like 2,600 friends in my group. And I pretty much know like all the names if they're active, which most of them are active. So if you're comfortable putting your Facebook name, then I can give you a special shout. Yeah, Dallas is my I love Dallas. The only thing I don't care for about Dallas is the humidity, because the humidity won't let my hair be great. Oh, I'm trying to think. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look. So I'm not gonna say my government name on YouTube. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Because I feel like I'm gonna figure this out right here live, y'all. People. And I was thinking about doing a YouTube group for Facebook as well, because it's really fun on Facebook to be able to communicate and share things, the highs and lows. Okay, wait a minute. No, this is not who I thought it was. Okay. You'll have to let me know. You'll have to let me know on Facebook who you are so that I can put the two together. Ooh, y'all going deep. Just Stumble Me says, do you think you could have saved your marriage? No. And I tried for 12 years. I said, I'm going to ride this thing till the wheels fell off. And so it wasn't until I started to become physically affected by staying, I had to leave. But I did not, as a good Christian woman, I definitely did not want that scarlet letter of a divorce. I didn't want to be with more than one man. Like, that was my, how I was raised. And so I tried everything within my power to work that out. And so I knew that if I left, I would leave in good conscience, knowing that there was nothing physically, emotionally, nothing else I could have done to save it. Let's see. No doxing, no. Okay, wait, no. At what age did you find your passion? Are you religious? Okay. Okay, I kind of like this. This is different. Okay, go with it. All right. So, what age did you find your passion? I found it very recently. I found it in my 30s, and I tell my story on my channel. I will give a very Cliff Notes version here, but essentially, I had depression as a result of my failed marriage. It was a very difficult situation, and I wasn't perfect by any means. There was a 15-year age gap between my ex-husband and myself, and so there was a lot of just life experience that I didn't have, and I wasn't really aware of who I was. So my heart was in the right place, and he knows I wasn't a malicious person in any way. But I just had a lot of growing that I had to do, and so there was just too much of a juxtaposition between the two of us, and it was frustrating. So it caused a serious depression, and I started having anxiety where like I'd have panic attacks and I couldn't breathe and all this stuff, and I was like almost broken, and it was in that desperation that I like clawed my way out, and so I started to learn mental discipline. I learned self-discipline. I started to learn how to love myself. And it was a spiritual journey for sure, crying out to God. And you asked if I was religious. I do not like that word. No shade to you, but I don't identify with that word, because to me, religion is like tradition and going through acts, versus spirituality, which is an actual connection with the being, like a living, live being. And so through my spiritual journey, I started to get answers by just seeking. And the crazy thing is that, spirituality isn't like an absolute. You can't touch it, feel it, whatever. But when you start to find other people who have gone down that path and you guys have had the exact same realizations, it's kind of like, whoa, might be onto something here. So all of that about like mind control, manifestation, self-discipline, love, just there's so many truths that came out, and it was so mind-blowing to me that I wanted to share with people. And that's why I created this entire channel, is for that purpose. Okay, let's see. Okay, how does one get in the illustrious Facebook group of yours? So my Facebook group is for my friends. And so that I've chosen to keep that closed, because I feel like it would just be weird kind of merging those two worlds. So I'm actually going to be putting together, probably most likely, a Facebook group for my YouTube friends. And so, yeah, because people get really intimate in there, and I feel like it would kind of be a violation of their everybody. But we get into like really serious stuff because we're a little community, and I'll go from like different states, and we'll touch down and like meet up and have dinner and stuff like that. And people have gotten married from that group, so we're very, very intimate. It's really a close group of friends. So I'm gonna do that, and then I think we can create it within the YouTube space. But at least this way, everybody going in knows that it'll be like an open group. Best of both worlds. CT Rude Boy says, you tried for 12 years. I can't even, I know I say bump, wait, no, I can't say it. I know it's like Jamaican, but I'm not even trying. I'm gonna look like an idiot trying to say it. Okay, what college degree do you have? You seem really smart. Y'all are gassing me up, okay? Thank you, Adonis. My degree is in, shocker, communication. Communication with a concentration of advertising. My school was one of the few schools that has an actual degree in advertising and not marketing, specifically advertising. I wanted to work in advertising. And I actually was in advertising for quite a while. Let's see. One of your videos, you said you appreciated him more after the divorce. Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. So although he and I are not compatible, like even now we're not compatible, I really respect him. There were a lot of things that he did right. He was very upstanding as far as like taking care of his family. We never struggled. Anything that we needed, he made sure he went out and got it. He never complained. I knew him. Well, we were together 13 years, married for 12. I never, ever, ever heard him complain one time. 5 in the morning, because he would start work with East Coast hours and end at the end of West Coast hours because his division was nationwide. Never complained. He just got up, worked, and left. He was a very good provider. He had a great job, and yeah, so I respect him for that. Let's see. So no dating younger women, duly noted. Now, somebody asked in the group today, they said, I met a guy, I think she said she's in her 30s, and she met a guy in his 50s. And she said, I want to date him, but I don't know if he'll take me seriously. And my advice to her was, she said, I'm really mature. At least people tell me that. And I could relate, because everybody said I was mature, and I felt mature, and I actually was mature. But I don't think it's necessarily about maturity. I think it's about life's experience. And so I'm going to make a dramatic comparison to paint the picture. Think about a really, really mature 20-year-old, and then think about a 40-year-old. No matter how mature the 40-year-old is, nothing can top the life experience that you gain in 20 years of living. You're going to have worked. You might have mortgage at this time. You've learned about taking care of a car. You might be raising children. There are just certain things that life teaches you over time. There are certain subtleties, like you might know facts and figures, but you don't understand the complexities of life. I remember my ex-husband would say things like, watch, this is about. But what I realized over time is that after a while, if you pay attention, because that's one thing I learned from him, pay attention. If you watch, you will catch things that other people miss. And there aren't that many different personality types in life. So once you start to figure out the different personality type, you're like, oh, this person's this personality type. This is his MO when he's mad. This is his MO when he's jealous. And you could start to kind of see how people are going to move. You learn how life is. You also learn how to do things ahead of time. So let's say, for example, if you've lived a while, you could say, you know what? Chances are, if I don't do this or set these wheels in motion, this might come back to bite me in the butt later. Even though I didn't do anything wrong, let me cover my base. You learn those types of wisdoms. Like, don't put your glass on the edge of the table. You learn that because there's been plenty of times where it gets bumped off. Little things like, not specifically like the glass, but things in that type of a mindset or that type of an example, those things happen. So you start to get wisdom. Wisdom comes over time. So I would just say that if you date somebody younger, just understand she's not going to have the same type of wisdom that you have. They also aren't as developed emotionally. So they tend to be jealous a lot more insecure. And also, I told the lady, you could be in different life phases. So some people are in the rip and run, like, let's go paint the town red and come in at 2 a.m. And other people are like, let's go to bed at like 9:30, 10. Like, let's be in bed and watch movies. Let's stay in all weekend. So you might be in different places in life. Also, somebody younger is not going to be as established in their career. So you have different spending abilities. So there's a lot of stuff. CT Rude Boy says, I hear you. Walter says, I'm in a group like that, so I understand. Just Thumble Me Clark says, LMAO. CT Rude Boy says, I thought it'd be a degree in psychology or therapy. My experiences come from life. My experiences come from life. A lot of prayer, a lot of reading my Bible, a lot of meditation, a lot of watching YouTube. I like to watch a lot of YouTube, and a lot of paying attention. A lot. And I'm an empath, so I pick up on a lot of stuff. W Brizzle says, sound is glitching a little bit. Oh, bummer. CT Rude Boy says, wait, so why the divorce? I missed that part. I came in late, or I haven't watched the video. Yeah, I don't spill too much. I don't like to talk too much about my marriage because it's not just mine. It's mine and my ex-husband's. And so I try not to talk too much about it because I don't want to speak for him. So I will only speak this from myself. I had an idea of the type of wife that I wanted to be. I described my mom. My mom was freaking June Cleaver. Like, she was that woman, getting up at 4 a.m, cooking for my dad so that he'd have his breakfast an hour before he worked out, so his food could settle and get to work on time. Like, she just, on her hands and knees, scrubbing the baseboards. Like, she just was an amazing woman. Made ice cream from scratch, homemade birthday cakes, and all the stuff. And I just described my mom when I was like dating. I hadn't dated anybody. I didn't know how to look at, okay, I wasn't married and I hadn't had relationships, but I could look at different things. Like, how did I take care of my room? That is probably an indication of what kind of a homemaker I would be. How mature am I in this area? Okay, there probably is an indication there. So I had a lot of growing to do. And I think by the time I kind of learned what I needed to do, it was a little bit too late. So once a person gets past a certain point, there's really no coming back from that. So we had such a divide in the beginning, it really was too hard to come back from it. Let's see. I'm just getting on professionally in my late 30s, but suddenly the attractive 20-somethings are receptive. I'm only gunning for reasonably attractive early somethings. Now, if you're in your late 30s, and they're in their late, well, that's still like a 10-year gap. I would just say test the waters and just kind of see what you guys have in common, because I wouldn't just say as a blanket rule, like, don't date somebody who's outside of a certain, bracket, but test it out and see how compatible you guys are, because you will quickly see that you guys will start to butt heads in the same type of things over and over again. Okay, he says, I feel like children are the biggest issue in dating at our age, assuming everyone is above 30. Yeah, I'm 40. I just turned 40 this year. Children, yeah, I think that's a huge thing. When I date somebody, I find out right away. I know for me, I am done having children. I have 2. I wanted 4. So I would love to marry somebody, if I do get married again, marry somebody who already has children, especially if they're around my kid's age. That would be amazing. So don't want to start over at this age and at this place in my life. And so if somebody wants to have kids and they don't have any, then yeah, that's going to be an issue. And then the people who don't have kids, they have a really hard time finding somebody who doesn't already. And I think that's somebody's prerogative. A lot of people say, oh my God, that's so narrow-minded. Why would you not want to date somebody who doesn't have kids. And I feel like that's a big deal. That's not about not being tolerant. That's a whole situation. You got to deal with the baby's mother or baby's father. And even if they are a gem, you know, even if they are like sweetness and so great to deal with, you still have the just the legalness, you know, the legal stuff, like which weekends you're over there. So let's say if you're planning a trip, for example, these are real life examples that people don't think about. Let's say you're planning your annual trip, you have to factor in which weekend are the kids with you and which weekend are they with the other parent. If you decide that you want to move out of the state, you have to consider the fact that you're either going to be away from your kids or your kids are not have to be away from the other person. Like there's a lot of stuff that has to happen. It's just more than just, oh, it's fine. I don't think people think that through. Um, Clark says this is way too personal. Hey, and I'm the one having to answer. By the way, just DM'd you on IG. Please don't read this aloud without. Okay, I'm dying to know. Let's see here. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. See, I don't know if I got a message, but I don't know if that's you who just messaged. Okay. I'll have to go back and look. So let's see. Let's see. He says, I'm 28 and nowhere professionally. Depression and a poor outlook on life are the reason for that. See, my channel is for you. My ex cheating on me will hopefully motivate me to be better. Let's see. So much I want to say about that. I think at 28, you still have so much life left to live. And so the fact that you are in this place of even looking into solutions is a very good sign. I started in my mid 30s and I feel like this is the best time of my life. So a lot of times it takes something really sad or something disappointing to really open people's eyes. I talked about this in a previous video where if you look at a lot of people who have really great success stories, Tony Robbins, you look at Lewis Howes, who has the podcast School of Greatness, you look at Oprah Winfrey, you look at a lot of people who have made major impacts on the world and they've had their breaking time. They've had their moment where they're broken. There aren't a lot of people who just grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth, had an amazing life, always had a great relationship with their spouse, had amazing kids, super successful and beautiful. You don't hear a lot of stories like that. A lot of times it takes the person being broken to really find their purpose in life. And so it sounds crazy to say, but you should be grateful for this space because this is usually the turning point for everybody. Walter says, I'm 40. The youngest I can go is 32 and the oldest is 52. I think it's a good range. Outside of that, I feel like it's too much of a gap where life experiences don't matter. Yep. And also, I'm a guy who used to do security for and date. Oh, and date dancers. Okay. Wait. I didn't read anything out loud. Said it's okay, Breezy. I didn't hear it. It's all good. I heard everything. School of Greatness. Thank you for that suggestion. Oh my God, that show is so good. I swear I did not read anything out loud. I swear. There wasn't even anything to read in the one that I opened. Okay. Making me like rethink myself. Okay. Let's see. Sorry. Had to read a different message. Okay. You say 32. What's the difference between that and 30? Who is that? Oh, I think maybe he's just saying like 8 years. Is he 50? Yeah, I'm not too sure. Love the channel. Wish I was out west. Ah, thank you so much. All right, guys. Did you have any other questions for me? Any other questions? Yeah, to Walter. Okay, I was gonna say. Yeah, and I don't think that it's necessarily like those 2 years make a difference because for me, I'm 40, and so I try not to go past like a certain age in the 30s, but it's just because you have to have some breaking point. So like, or some cutoff. So I wouldn't want to date someone's 30. That's a 10-year age gap, but I probably would go maybe 35 at the lowest. But even still, I prefer to date older because I just personally feel like men mature slower than women. So at 40, I'd rather someone over 40. But yeah. You guys have been so much fun. This is my first time doing this on YouTube where I just did freestyle answering questions. Um, this is like outside of my comfort zone because in Facebook, I'm like, it's a controlled environment. I know nobody else can see it. I know who can see it. He says, would you date a broke dude? I actually did. I dated a homeless man. I laugh, but I'm totally serious. Dated a guy, dated a guy who had a house. He said WTF. Y'all don't judge. Hold on. So he had a place, everything like that, and a tragedy actually hit. And so he had to start from rock bottom. And so for a while there, like he was renting out Airbnbs and finding a place to stay. He had somebody do him super dirty. And I know I said homeless, but it wasn't like I like walked under an overpass and like, hey dude, I like your cardboard house. It wasn't like that. He was homeless for a little while and he ended up getting back on his feet. But yeah, I didn't go anywhere. I wasn't like, ew, get away from me. Uh, who are these? Who are these homeless men who are able to get the highly attractive women? What are their tricks? But you know, all my exes will say I am different. I'm really different. I have been scarred so badly from my failed relationship that it really gives me a tender heart. And I honestly just they need to write books. I honestly just believe in somebody's spirit. If somebody has a beautiful spirit and you could understand where they're coming from, I try not to judge people. I really don't. Um, but yeah, I think what's more important than having a lot of money is having drive and ambition because somebody can have money and be super lazy. Somebody else can be super driven and just haven't yet gotten a return on their hard work. So, um, no, really though, most attractive women I ever dated said she dated a homeless guy before. That's hilarious. There's something to be said for charisma. There's something to be said for charisma. I think that also when people don't have a lot going on in other areas, they have to really compensate for it and have great personalities. I think that let's see, to bring up a topic from another live, I was amazed by the amount of guys who are touchy feely on their first date without consent. Child. I really was perplexed. I mean, I was like really horrified for like 2 days straight. Like I really was upset. I was like very upset because the more people commented and chimed in, the more and more you saw how common it was. Somebody else posted a video of a skit somebody did, and the guy, so you guys are watching who haven't seen it. This the comment was, guys, I'm sure you agree with me that if you fly a woman out to see you, that sex is on the table, like that's happening. And the way it was worded was it didn't sound consensual. It was like this is just what's happening. And so the women were all going, no, that doesn't equate. Buying a ticket does not equate to me hooking up with you. And what a lot of guys were explaining when they tried to explain was that we would expect it. So my thing was, that's fine if you expect it. I could expect to win the lottery. That doesn't mean I'm going to go rob a bank, you know? And so what a lot of guys were just saying is like, no, they should know that this is what it is. And so some guy posted, there was another thing somebody posted because everyone started talking about that topic. Somebody posted this disgusting thread between him and his buddy. And he's like, I flew this girl out. She was talking. Now this was different because she was talking sex and all this stuff and, being very provocative in how she was talking, according to him. But when they actually got together, her tune changed. Now, to her credit, we don't know her side of the story. We don't know if he was an asshole. We don't know if he was rude. We don't know if he was like too forward and it made her uncomfortable because women obviously still have to warm up. There's a big difference between Kiki and over the phone and looking at pictures and FaceTiming and then being in real life. Maybe she wanted to kind of like move slow and have dinner first and whatever. And who knows? He might have been grabby in the taxi coming right from the airport. You just don't know. But the point is that he got so mad at the fact that she was not interested in hooking up that he kicked her out of the hotel room and was like, good luck finding your way back. It was just gross. So he says, why would you fly a woman out you didn't already have some kind of established relationship with, including sex? Well, a lot of people date long distance. So a lot of times that very first trip, they haven't met in person yet. So a lot of women were saying that's the time to get to know the person. And this world is like the world we live in. And I did my video about we've been bamboozled, which is my whole argument about waiting on sex. But it's mind blowing to me how people just think because we have chemistry and we're clicking, that automatically means I get to sleep with you. That's wild. Like, how many people do you date? If you had sex with every person you dated, your number would be in the hundreds. So I just don't understand this like flippance about sex. And my thought was, is that all there is to her? Like, how can you not enjoy a woman outside of sex? Why can't you enjoy her time and her company? Like, kiss her and caress her. But why does that mean you have to have sex with her? It's just crazy to me that everyone just seems to just full steam ahead. Like nobody thinks that sex is a big deal. Maybe I'm the only person that thinks that sex is a big deal. It's just wild. I just feel like go get a hooker if you need, have someone sleep with you. Let's see. I think you should date people based on their spirit and not their age, as long as they're legal. He said, damn, then I must be chopped liver. I had to lose 35 pounds and double my income before I could consistently get. Walter says it was disgusting. I had too much stuff to do stuff like that. Too much respect to do stuff like that. I agree if I fly a woman out, it's for sex. Yeah. Why would you fly a woman out who you don't already have some kind of established relationship? I already read that one. Okay. Maybe you're famous. What do you mean? Like they just sleep because they're famous? I don't know. Kissing and caressing leads to sex. It can, unless you're like, you don't go somewhere intimate. What you think sex is or is not a big deal? If you're asking me that, I think it's a huge deal. I think it's a huge deal, and I really broke it down on a 2-part video called "You've Been Bamboozled." So I won't get into it here, but yes, there are a lot of downsides to it. It is a huge, huge deal. And then the people who say it's not a big deal, tell them they can't have any, and suddenly it's a big deal. So yeah. Anyway, I really go into painstaking detail on that. So if you're curious, feel free. He said, "Oh damn, lol. I can get all the other stuff from cool female friends. So sex is the distinguishing characteristic between legit romantic interest and a cool female friend. But why the rush? Why the rush?" Walter says, "Here's some free game. Y'all dudes gotta stop bringing up sex early. Don't tell him, Walter. If you let her bring it up, you'll have more and better sex when she wants to. You let the cat out the bed." He said. I didn't even know there was a dad emoji. That's so funny. My friend and I were talking about that. Like, it is so true because here's the thing: women want to have sex, men want to have sex. But the thing is that men usually want to have sex before the woman is ready. So if they just wait for the woman to be ready, then everything is gravy. And it should be consensual anyway. Ew. And there's like some weird reverse psychology when a woman knows you're attracted to her, but you're not trying to make moves on her. It like makes her brain misfire and she will suddenly start coming onto you. It works like a gem. Guys don't believe me, and then they test it and they're like, oh crap, this really works. CT Rude Boy says, I prefer combo over sex. Oh, I'm worried for that. Walter says, I grew up around women all my life. I have a lot of little gems. Don't share them because there are going to be creeps in here. Just use it to get some booty. Anyway, okay. I keep saying that's it unless there's something else. But there keeps being something else. I really want to make sure we've covered all the questions. He says you're right. Covered all the questions. So we had New York, we had Tennessee, we had, what else did we have? Louisiana, we had Dallas. We had a nice little sprinkling. Oh, Ohio. Very nice. Okay. Let's wait for you guys. I get it, but it's still the craziest thing to me. If you hope to get sex from a woman, you have to act like it's true. Just like a woman. If she acts like she wants a relationship, the guy doesn't want it. But if she acts like she doesn't care, he wants to lock her down. I'm just sitting here drawing, and this is a great combo. Oh, thank you, Walter. I appreciate that. Okay. All right, guys. Well, it is 8:50 for me, almost 9. So I am going to start to head out. It has been such a pleasure chatting with you guys. Thank you for all the questions. It made it fun. And I'm going to see if I don't chicken out and delete this. So We'll see. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with me. And until next time, be sure to tell someone that you love them. Oh, and by the way, head over to my Instagram and let me know what you guys think about my my reels. I've been practicing with reels. So this is my Instagram page, Chasing Yonci. I'm trying to see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Chasing Yonci. And I've been practicing with my reels. I'm trying to be funny. See if you guys like it. Let me know. All right. Just to get my identity. Okay, I will check. I will check. Don't delete. It's great. Oh, you're so sweet. It's almost midnight here. Thanks for the time. You guys are so sweet. So next Sunday, I'll meet you guys back here again. Okay? We'll figure out the time. Have a good night, guys.